Uh-oh, guess who's coming to dinner? Junior brings home a white girl and causes all kinds of chaos in the family. And the twins struggle with growing up. All this and so much more on tonight's episode of Blackish.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I like this. Who's this?
This is Young Jeezy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You helping me? Just some Jeezy, all right?
I know. This one's called White Girl, I think. Yeah.
That fits.
Yeah.
That's timely. Jeezy. I don't know what he said, but that beat was fire.
I know, that was a good beat.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we're going to kill it before we hear some
It's
expletives.
Jeezy. He's gonna curse. I guarantee it.
Hey guys, what's up? It is another episode of Blackish. We are in episode 8 now, season 3. My name is Stacey Newsome, and I am co-panelist here with my lovely, wonderful Renaissance man, DeAnJilo. DeAnJilo, where can they find you?
I'm so happy to have you back. I had to sit on that side. It's hot over there. It's hot. It's hard.
It is hot over here, isn't
Look,
it?
I'm so glad you're doing it. All right.
Whew, sweating out my good hair tonight.
But welcome back, family. It's been like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Follow me on Twitter at DeAnJilo TV. Always check the spelling, DeAnJilo TV. We got a show for him today.
Oh,
though.
yeah. Well, I got to tell him when he can find me.
My bad. I thought you went already.
I did not. You see, that's just like a man not listening.
Oh, I learned to keep my mouth shut.
Guys, you can find me on social media at Twitter and Instagram at the Stacey Newsome. That is THE. Yes, THE.
Spell your name.
It's been a couple of weeks. STACEY.
I love the pause right there. We got audio listeners, but if you saw, she had a little pause. Yeah, your name starts with an S. That's cool.
Too much turkey, man. Too much turkey. How was your Thanksgiving, by the way?
I'm good. Apparently, I'm doing a little bit better because you were recovering from some food poisoning, right?
Oh, yeah. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. The dinner was on point.
So everybody at home,
everybody at home.
Please tell them what happened, what made you get food poisoning.
Yeah, so, okay, I ate a lot of food, okay? I ate everything that was available to eat Thanksgiving Day, and then I had a few leftovers the next day, and I just kept eating. Sunday night, okay, my aunt, she whips out some leftover Chinese food, okay? And after all the crap I ate all weekend, it was ultimately an egg roll that took me out. So I had to fly home on food poison.
Oh, my goodness.
From
and you
Chicago.
know what? There's a lesson in that. I don't know what it is, but it involves an egg roll. Maybe not consuming it after Thanksgiving. I don't know. You guys, it's a clash. You got the soul food.
I know.
You got the Chinese food, and it's kind of like I don't think your stomach was feeling it.
It wasn't, man. Every belch was like I was tasting that egg roll.
This is a nasty visual.
Yeah, the flight attendants were worried about me. All right, so let's get down to our show tonight. This was a very thought-provoking show. It really resonated with me, just in a whole like identity thing, and it was about coming from a big family and then being surprised. Just get to the point. Junior brought home a girlfriend.
And I called it.
Yes, brought home. You did.
I was like, that's what's about to happen. I know.
He brings home a girlfriend, and most people were happy that he brought home a girl because the boy wears capes, right? But Bo is upset that the girl is white.
Oh my goodness. Well, I love. Before we even get into it, I love the shot. I love the ISO shotting. I was a media production guy, so like I love how they had Junior come in. He was standing by himself, and then we got a slow-mo ISO shot. We saw it how Bo saw it when she walks in. She's just smiling, looking nice. She got no clue what's going down.
I know.
And I loved it because I knew it was about to happen.
Becky with the good hair came home.
That's what we should have played. We should have had the Beyonce.
We should have.
Well. We was trying to figure out what song to play for you guys. That's why we got to Jeezy. But Jeezy did his thing, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Junior brings home the girl, and her presence just stirs up all kinds of angst in Bo because Bo obviously thought that Junior's girlfriend was not going to be a white girl. And I mean, Dre is happy as a bug in a rug. I mean, I'm thinking Dre's just happy that he brought home any girl.
Right, a girl that walks, she got all her limbs.
Right, she stands up straight.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, well, I like the connection, and I don't know if it always has something to do with that, but like I know that when it comes to the African American community, especially Black women, because I know my mom felt this way too. When it comes to specifically, sometimes it's any other race, but when it comes to white, because of the historical clash, I'll say.
Speaking of the speaking of history, I liked how this episode got into the whole history of how the races got mixed and where the word mulatto comes from. I didn't even know that, so I learned something. And it was just a nice little history lesson. Like, I like how they use the humor to break down, to explain to people who may not, understand.
We got some bold narrating. I like that. We usually only getting it from Dre. And so at Blackish Writers, good job.
Well,
we like her. I like her narrating.
Yeah, this was her story tonight because it was all about her own identity crisis. First of all, have you ever had to have this conversation with your mom? You brought the white girl home?
I've never brought a white girl home. However, my mom has made clear how she feels.
Oh, really?
And so,
okay.
It's interesting. I mean, like, I have a trend with my life, but it doesn't generally involve a white woman. But, if it went down like that, it went down like that, and my mom will have to deal with it. However, I can say that I really can identify and understand the persona and how Bo portrayed herself to be. Yeah.
Well, what was really funny to me is that Dre saw this as a bonding moment with Bo. He's like, "Oh, you do see color. This is something we can do together. We can mistrust white people together. This can save our marriage."
That was a great quote.
It was.
Well, and then because Dre knows. He knows how he feels. He got his. He know he black. He know his identity.
Right.
So his hatred or mistrust, as for lack of a better word, it's grounded. He got depth with it. Hers was a little different. It surprised her.
Right.
Which was interesting.
Right, because she's always been in a position where she's had to check off one box or the other.
Right.
And that's our world now. There's I think probably kids who are coming up, in biracial homes are probably more grounded in their identity than maybe they would have been in Bo's generation because that's where the world is headed. But when you're growing up and it's like you think that you're one thing, but people see you as another, that's where the clash comes in, at least in your mind, I
would say most of the conflict from conversations with my biracial friends, because I'm fully black, is it's the social expectations or standards. When you are half black, half white, and of course there's so many other different biracial mixes, but that's the one we talked about in the show. When you're half black, half white, there's a social expectation, that it comes with so much from how you should stand politically, what type of music you should be into, all of those things. And I think it was perfectly shown in that O.J. Simpson case.
It was, and in her flashback to high school when she was cast as the flying monkey.
Oh my goodness,
in
that
the
hit
Wizard
me.
of Oz.
That hit me hard. I wasn't feeling that one. Oh man.
But you know what? Society chooses for you. And we got to that at the end of that particular storyline, because that was something I was thinking all throughout the episode before she went to visit her dad, is that, typically in your mind, if you're biracial, and I'm not, I'm like, quarter racial or whatever, but it's like, you maybe because of who you surround yourself with, okay, so all my friends are white and they're cool with me, so I see myself as a white person, but then the world sees this. This is all they see, and that's how they identify you. And that is something that she's just discovering at this stage in her life, really. Well, which is kind of surprising to me, actually.
Well, I would say a lot of people don't even dive into it. They go because when it goes to racial, you have your color, which has one perception, but you have your heritage, you have your culture, all of these things. So racial is kind of just like, how do people perceive you?
Yeah.
And then you have all these other things. Like she could be who she is and consider herself a white woman if she was culturally in that type vibe. You know what I mean?
Right. So because race is just a device. That's man-made stuff.
Right. Exactly. So I could culturally consider myself white if I wanted to, if I grew up around all white people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, but my race is black, and that the race thing, like you said, is what you have to check on the box.
Right. Well, it's so funny. I grew up in Alabama, and the high school I went to in Little Eaton, Alabama, there was two groups. There was black people and white people, and the 3 or 4 kids that fell outside. It's like they had to go with one or the other.
You got picked. This is how it's going down here.
Exactly. So the one Asian girl in my class, it was like, the black folks claimed her. It's like, oh no, you black. You black.
She was cool though, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Yeah. The one Mexican kid, you black. You black.
If you were other, you were colored.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, no. Well, we've come a long way with that, but I feel like we have a lot of work to do. But there was an interesting Time magazine, it showed. I remember it was a couple years ago, but it showed pictures of people who, when you look at them, they catch your eye because they're contradicting how we perceive. It was like a black girl with blue eyes and blonde hair, naturally,
right?
Because she was half black, half white,
right?
So I like that because we need to instead of living off of just stereotypes, we need to be thinking a little bit more. You know what I mean? As opposed to just accepting what we see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I lived in New York, I lived there for quite a bit of time before I moved here. When I first moved there, I was waiting tables at this restaurant, and one of the girls there. I like to joke that she taught me lessons on being a black girl because she was white. She was like Irish white, like that white. But culturally, she had grown up around all black people up in the Bronx. And she was blacker than I was. And she was, wear the big hoop earrings. She's like, girl, you need to blacken up. Like, blonde girl, blue eyes, just black.
And it was real. That's who she was. She wasn't faking.
Totally real.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I learned the lesson of, like, when you get into a street fight, you got to have your Vaseline ready to grease down.
Hey, she's smart. Where she at? We need to bring her on the show. I mean, that's how it is, though. Like, and I love it. You know what I mean? You can even dive into, like, the usage of the N-word and who can use and who can't. There's this rapper, not to dive off too far,
right?
But this rapper, this guy named Logic, who is African American for all like extensive purpose from growing up.
Yeah,
but he looks white, and he used the N-word in his raps, and that had started some type of controversy. But for all intents and purposes, he considers himself black, and rightfully so. He is.
Right.
So it's amazing how what we see can really influence a lot.
I know. And one more point, and then we'll move on. One of my aunts in my family, she married into our family, but she's been in the family longer than I have because, she's like, I don't know, in her late 60s now. My Aunt Daisy, I'll give her a shout out.
Hey, shout out to my Aunt
totally
Daisy.
Not watching, I'm sure. Anyway.
Wait, was she shutting it down for Thanksgiving, though? Was she contributing to the food?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The whole festivities was held at her house, okay?
Hey, shout out to you.
Yes. So she's married to my Uncle Dave, and they've been married, like, I don't know, a little over 50 years now. And she's biracial, but she could have passed if she had wanted to because, she, like, looks that much on that side, right? And she's actually writing a book how she refused to pass in the South. Like, everybody in her family was encouraging her to pass so she'd have an easier life. She grew up in Alabama. And, where was I going? Oh, yeah. So
you got me. I'm in. I want to know where it's going.
So I remember when I was about 9, 10 years old, like I had never seen her as black or white. To me, she was always Aunt Daisy, right? She was just Aunt Daisy.
Right.
And I remember one time when I was about 9 years old, one of my younger cousins who had been programmed by that time to see color because she grew up, a more urban setting than I did. I remember her asking Aunt Daisy in front of everybody, Aunt Daisy, are you white? And I was like, that was the first time moment. I saw her that way.
Isn't that something?
And I thought to myself, yeah, are you white? Like, yeah.
Hold up. This changes everything,
know, right?
Right?
Like,
That's how you feel almost.
I know. It never occurred to me that she was or she wasn't. She was just Aunt Daisy. And then that's when she explained to us, no, I'm black. I look like I'm white, but I'm black. So we were like,
so interesting.
Okay. So that whole storyline was really intriguing to me. Of course, it carried over into the work setting with Dre.
Loved it.
Yes, of course, not with identity, but how to holler at a sister and how to holler at a white woman.
That's exactly what would happen. That's how guys would talk about racial identity, just that way. All right, how are we talking to each of these different races? And I love it because you blanket in every woman into this one race because that's exactly how it happens, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, my favorite part was also when Wanda Sykes, who we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, welcome back, Wanda Sykes.
I forget what her character's name in the show is, but I'm a big Wanda Sykes fan. I love that she just jumped in with it, too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Charlie's like, see, this is why I holler at the white girls. This is why I keep
this is
why I keep John Mayer tickets.
Some black guys feel that way. I'm trying to stay. I want the Megans.
Exactly. the Beckys.
Shout out to John Mayer. I'm a big John Mayer fan.
Yeah, I like his music.
Yes.
Okay, so I like his music, but I read an article in Rolling Stone, something he said about the sisters that didn't sit well with me.
He said that.
I was like, no, he didn't.
I know.
Oh,
that's something you say though. And you say that amongst your friends.
I know.
With no mics on.
Thank you.
Because I don't think it was like obligatory racist, but it was definitely very insensitive.
That's what it sounded like to me. And I'm like, and I spent money on your music?
Dang, that rewrote his whole perception.
And you don't want to see this naked? What? How dare you?
Yeah,
my body's a wonderland.
He took some L's. He took some L's on that one, and I don't agree with him.
Yeah, that didn't sit well with me. I haven't been able to listen to his music the same since, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I like to block it out. But that's the man.
But that one song, no, Neon. I like that song. I still listen to that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Shout out to John Mayer.
Anyway. So yes. So yeah, they flubbed their whole presentation to Microsoft, and Charlie saves the day by whipping out his
John Mayer tickets in the back.
got the John Mayer tickets.
Like it.
My favorite line, he says, "I used to keep Dave Matthews tickets in my pocket, but I don't want a girl that white."
Oh my great. Yo, it was so many hot fire lines. I should have wrote all of them down, but that one was on. Like, it was just great. I actually, funny story, I just recently discovered who Dave Matthews Band is.
What?
Just people were talking about it at my work, and I'm at a predominantly white job or whatever.
Man.
And so I was like, oh, let me check them out. And I heard a couple songs. I was like, okay, they get down. But if you get deeper in there, I'm like, okay, all right, I can see where the divide comes.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was such a hilarious quote. He's so funny.
Now, see, if you hadn't discovered Dave Matthews, you wouldn't have gotten that joke.
You're right.
Awesome.
Right. Thankfully, we got the couple weeks off, and I was able to discover who Dave Matthews was.
Exactly. So yeah, diving into those stereotypes at the office, so funny. Love how they dealt with the stereotypes. You know, how to holler at a white girl, how to holler at a black girl. It's just like
right.
And then our final storyline was the assignment that Zoe had to redecorate the twins' room.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't a whole lot to that storyline, but I think this is another effort that they're showing how the twins are really having to mentally and physically make space for the new baby that's coming, because now they're no longer the babies.
And we're seeing that they're growing up too.
Yeah.
Just kind of showing, hey, they're growing up.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's not sitting well with them that they're growing up. I think they really want to stay the babies.
More responsibility. Yeah, that was a good one. I also really liked not to change the subject, but when the dynamic starting to become between Ruby and Bose, that was so funny. He was just like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to control. Like, I don't think I have a say in what's about to happen. I love it. It was great, and I think that's just gonna be a really funny gag going on.
Yes.
Like I was disturbed, but like also it's hilarious.
I know.
Yeah.
Big shout out to David Diggs.
Oh my goodness.
So funny. His tendrils, not bangs. They're not man bangs.
That was another bomb quote. He talked about you're a grown man with some bangs. That was great.
These writers always do such a bomb job.
Power episode. I say one of the best. Like, maybe my favorite. I got to think about it, but like this was really funny, thought provoking. It was a really good episode.
It really was. So, what's your takeaway from this episode?
Well, I really like, obviously we spent most of the time on the racial identity part of it. I like the final conversation Bo had with her father.
Yeah, white man had to come in and save the day, huh? The white man had the answers always, right?
Well, he was a cool white dude, and you know, he married a black woman, so had a baby with a black woman. Two, right? So I think that was just a cool dynamic and conversation to, I guess I didn't even think about that, but yeah, the white man saves the day kind of. But I like what it represented in that situation, and how Bo, again, everything gets handled in 30 minutes somehow. But the lesson is kind of you decide who you are. All he said was, you know who you are. I do know who I am.
Yeah.
Most of the time you do. But we get confused because of all these social standards and all these other type of things. But
people trying to tell us who we are.
Right.
You know.
Right. And I think everybody should take a genealogy test.
You know what? I'm going to do that.
I want to do it too.
Yes.
Because even in Africa, we make Africa seem like it's one country, big country. It's a continent.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different cultures there. You should maybe get to know what those cultures are like.
I know. You know what? Ooh, let's place a bet. Which one of us you think is going to trace back to Thomas Jefferson?
Oh man, that would be a plot twist. You got it. You got TJ. I think it might root a little further back for me. I think I'm a little thicker on the black side.
Because you got the nice berry color going on?
I'm deep chocolate.
You are deep chocolate.
Deep chocolate.
What do you think? Just in your mind, knowing what you know about Africa, what country do you think your ancestors
Well, I know
from?
it's a little bit. I know it's either Nigeria or Senegal. Okay.
Senegal.
Yes, I had a girlfriend. She was Nigerian, and like you could see some of the similarities from a facial bone structure.
Yeah.
But I really want to know. I want to find out. What do you think you are? Talking about racial identity. Shout out to blackness. See what y'all doing.
I know. You know what? That's a very good question. I don't know.
Like, take a guess. Shoot in the dark. If it ain't Thomas Jefferson, you know.
Wow. I don't look Somali at all. I don't look Ethiopian at all.
Yeah.
Senegal, I don't think I look Senegalese at
they
all.
got some strong. We got strong features.
Yeah.
I said we, like I already know.
My people have strong features. I mean, Libya, like it's kind of like, I don't know, one of those mixed countries too. So I'm not sure. I'm really
don't even know. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be like the Ivory Coast. You know, the French. You got colonized by the French.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. All I do know that my grandmother's grandfather was a white dude, and we got a picture of him in our photo album.
Oh, so yours might be a little closer, you know, like in regards to, because we all got a little bit mixed. But that'd be interesting. Hey, I list all the listeners. All right, we encourage you guys. Please go check it out. Find out your racial identity. Don't matter what you look like. I think it'll be a great like little thing, like identity thing for you guys. If you want, even tweet us. Tell us what you got.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, my brother, where can we find you?
All right. So, you know, my name's DeAnJilo. Again, always check the spelling. DeAnJilo. All right. Follow me on Twitter at DeAnJilo TV. You can tweet us about your, you know, who you are.
Yes.
Who are you? And follow me on Instagram at DeAnJilo. I'm not putting my Snapchat out there, but where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Stacey Newsome, Stacey. Guys, thank you for joining us for this episode. We will see you back here next week for another lovely episode of Blackish.
Deuces. Hey, this was a bomb show.
It was.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Deuces.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.